I often think about ways that I can improve the roastery space, and we've been here at Unit 30 for approximately 7 years now. And if I had an infinite amount of time and budget, these are the things that I would attempt to improve. Firstly, I'd spend some time and effort, energy and money on improving the shop space. We are a somewhat basic business, and I mean that we don't have a sexy brand, but certainly we could prettify this space somewhat. Why I have a plant on the floor and not on the desk is beyond me. I'm actually quite surprised that that plant has survived for the 7+ years that we have been in here. But anyway, this shop space could be made better. I could put a rug on the floor, I could put a little sofa in, I could maybe make the shelves a little more appealing. So note to James, that is something that is easy to do and forms quite a large part of the revenue capture that this business has. We, on average, have somewhere between 10 and 15 people that will come through the door, and it can be a significant income stream. So I should really make some better use of that. As we walk past the shop space, we then come into the main roastery area. And this is where it gets a little complicated. This view quite neatly shows what I would describe as the complication of this area. Number one, we come in from the door in this particular direction. And over here, we have a block, a physical block, which we have offices in. The quandary is that the roastery height isn't quite as high as I'd like it to be. If it was a little higher and the roof was pitched in a different angle, I could maybe align the racking and the storage better. When we moved in, we did what most people do in new opened large spaces, is they shove everything to the outside wall, and I didn't wholly consider the workflow. In my wisdom, and it has served us well, mind, I decided that we would work in a circular workflow. So goods would come in through the roll-top door there, we would distribute the raw coffee over into this particular area, it would then go through to roasting, through into packing, into dispatch, maybe into boxes or crates and out the door. But what it has actually created is this whole area of space centrally that I really should try to address. We, as you can see, hold stock. Inside of these crates here are 10 kilos worth of roasted coffee that we send through to our cafe clients. Because I'm now roasting on the loring, we like to rest the coffee where possible. I feel that if you're a cafe consuming coffee from a loring, you should have a minimum of 3 weeks resting before that coffee goes into your hopper. For some reason, that machine increases the amount of time required for degassing. So we try to mitigate some of those things by holding stock for our cafe clients. And with regards to this feature, all of our stock seems to have moved centrally into the warehouse, and that is a bit of a problem because it's just a bit unsightly and it's not wholly the best way of being able to store things. There's a linear system, but it's accessed centrally, and also it's right in the way. So when I receive green coffee, it's just a bit of a nightmare to move the stuff around. So in this infinite time and infinite money, I would readdress or address the workflow of the roastery. So let's maybe look at the space from a different angle. Goods come in here, we distribute and hold raw coffee over here. I also rack out the green coffee before roasting in this particular space. This is highly functional. You need some place to put your raw coffee, you need some place to store boxes, etc. And of course, you need a staging area for your green coffee should you be pre-batching before roasting, which is exactly what I do. It's a neat way of being able to accommodate a more efficient workflow. So it's a functional space, but it doesn't necessarily have to sit in this particular area. The other oddity of this business is that we have a Probat roaster, which is not functional at this point. This is the first roaster, and we put it as far away as we could from the door, thinking that if guests come in whilst I'm roasting, that is the maximal distance between roaster and door. And I say that because when I was in my old space, it was about a quarter of this size. So let's imagine we've got the roll top door just where the left-hand side of that roll top door is through to the other side of the room. So what's that? Maybe 4 meters across and then 10 deep. So much smaller. This is 250 square meters and the previous one was maybe 50. So this is a considerable increase in size. And of course, I just filled it with rubbish as you do. Not rubbish. I filled it with coffee products. That's by the by. That roaster is now redundant, and it should be redundant capacity, in use redundant capacity, and it isn't. And it is not in an optimal area. Really, if I were redesigning the space, that roaster and this lorrying would be in line with each other, rather than that in this sort of, boxing off this corner, because that makes somewhat this corner obsolete. So with the time and money, the roaster would be resited alongside the lorrying, and I'd probably put it into this space here. That then would free up a little bit more wall space. And actually what I would be putting in is a color sorter and maybe some other types of kit to do with post-roasting improvement of the product. And color sorting is one of those things. And it is actually a key point for 2026. I remember I told myself that I was going to do 7 things this year, and buying a color sorter was number 1. So we'd still keep the roasters against the wall, whether or not it would be this back wall or potentially along this wall here. And if it was this wall here, I would move the packing and the dispatch to a different area of the roastery. We'd probably just shunt everything along, but it's useful when it comes to dispatch to have like the central hub. At the minute, it feels like the central hub is our storage, and I don't think that that's right. The central hub really should be dispatch. If I had maybe a computer that was central, that I'm then booking in the green coffee as it arrives, I'm then doing some of the QC on it as well, and of course we're using it for the dispatch. That would be a more purposeful way of organising the packing and dispatch area. I'd also want to do better with the green storage as well. At the minute, it feels somewhat of a waste in just that corner, albeit the green in staging and storage is fairly centralised, as in it's in one condensed space, and that is somewhat purposeful. But I would prefer to have green in a linear fashion. So assuming that this roll top door is movable in this infinite time and infinite money, that would move to a different area, or maybe across up to the top of the roastery. And then I'd have my green in one particular line, and I'd have it in rows. In rows means that, I can then rack out in front of it for the green coffee, and that would just be a bit more functional. So what would I do with all of this roasted stuff? We like the idea of these crate systems. It's really useful because we can move the product line through to packing and dispatch, you see. So that's quite functional. But what we could do is, rather than moving this to a particular area, we could create an area from which packing and dispatch are taking from this side, and those people who are involved in post-roast, so the actual packing rather than packing and dispatch, but the actual packing would be filling up from the back. So if I can just paint a picture properly, imagine that we have roasting happening here. The roasted coffee comes out and is aligned in these bins as is, and we're following a linear production line, which I feel is going to be my preference. We would then have packing operating just here, and then they would be putting this stuff in this sort of linear fashion, from which anybody who's working in dispatch would then be picking from this side. So we would have the oldest stock at the front for dispatch, and the newest stock would be coming in from this side from packing, and the workflow would be linear rather than this circular motion that we have at the minute. I think I'd also make a bit of an effort, or more of an effort, on the electrical distribution of the space as well. As you can maybe see, all of the electrical sockets, the things that we plug into, are all affixed to the wall, which forces somewhat you to push things to the outer edges of the space, which is exactly what we've done. And if maybe I had some electrical gantries that came out in this linear workflow, it means that I could drop electrical sockets into various spaces inside of the room. So rather than feeling that you've got to be pushed to the outer area, you would rather be able to just make better use of the internal space. It means all of this stuff could actually go to the outer walls, and we could then have it on racking and just a better stacking system. I've actually seen on the internet things where these crates can sit in trays on racking, so you just pull them out. Oh, amazing. Rather than have what we do now is we're lifting them up all the time and stacking them, and they can get a bit wobbly. Talking about wobbly, look at this. I don't know whether you can see, but this floor dips in the middle, and that is a bloody nightmare because we're using these dollies with caster wheels, and of course you stick 50 kilos of coffee in each one of those vertical lines and they all roll into the middle of the floor. And this is a relic of, well, the people who fabricated this building, and I really needed to address this when we first arrived here, but I didn't think it was going to be as significant as it is. And in order to rectify it, I'm going to have to dig out a certain section of this floor to then put new concrete in. I can't just put self-leveling compound down, because if I put self-leveling compound and you've got all of these kilos and pallet trucks and stuff running over the top of it, it'll just pulverize into powder in no time, so it would render itself useless. So there we are, there's a big problem that I'd need to sort out, and I think the only way to sort that out is to move units. Beyond the floor, there are other things that we should do to improve the space, and that is to have things to do with quality control. Now, I used to do all my cupping on this table over here, which is now obsolete. I use it as an obstacle between the roll top door and where the green coffee is stored, just to make delineate those spaces. I am working on a cupping lab which will sit in this, well, just this redundant space. It used to be our tech area. There was a gentleman called Phil who worked with us, and he had this space and operated with the technical division that we did have, and we now outsource all of that. As you can see, it's somewhat vacant, somewhat occupied by an old sofa from an old house, which, do you know what, if I can just recover that thing, it's actually quite purposeful. It's lovely to have a sit down. It's a really nice view, I'll show you now. So I can sit here at the end of the roasting day and look at this view. Oh, isn't that wonderful? All the way down the business. Okay, it is a touch unsightly, and every business has slack areas which don't look quite so pretty, which is why it's nice that it's tucked away from the customer and that front door. Anyway, this should and will become more of a lab. Along with the lab, it will also form part of a training space, staff kitchen, and also showroom. The showroom could potentially go into one of the office spaces, but that would require quite a lot of plumbing work. But of course, James, you've got an infinite amount of time and an infinite budget. I'd tell you, if I had that, I'd buy a new space and I'd fabricate it in the most wondrous way. We'll do the new roastery thing at a point at which I get a new roastery, which is some years off now. So this will become all of those things. We have water and a really old kitchen thing. There will be kitchen surfaces here. All of that will be prettified. I'll put some posters up. I'll make it all super nice. And I was supposed to be doing that this summer. But it's a difficult thing when you're a small team and you've got lots of stuff to do, and you're trying to do YouTube things along with roasting coffee, packing coffee, delivering coffee, cupping coffee, all of those sorts of stuff. Anyhow, that's by the by. This will become the cupping space, and it is something that I really should have done right in the infancy. Make a defined quality control space someplace where I can go and spend time in developing roast profiles and thinking about the coffee more than I currently do. Anyway, I think that's a good little synopsis about some of the things that I would change if I had an infinite budget and an infinite amount of time. Certainly, there are things that have worked very well over the past 7 odd years. There are things that I've just described that should be improved, but it, in the main, works. It's our little space. When I say our, there's myself, Katie, Sam and Jules, and I think we all enjoy working here. I enjoy working here. I enjoy working in my cockpit. What a great term that was. That was given to me by Michael, and it is like operating in a cockpit. Anyway, I hope this little tour and a little insight into how you can improve your roastery space if you had an infinite amount of time and budget has been useful. If you have any questions or if you've got any suggestions, if you are a roastery operator manager or you work within a roastery and you do things inside of your space that you think, James should know about that because that would be really good, then how about letting me know? How about telling me? Because that could form part of me rejigging this space in time. Now, as I always say, if you happen to pick up a bag of coffee that I have roasted, I hope you enjoy and you have a great day.